So I was trying to find something I could use as a prop for the background. I didn't want to put Hulk in there, didn't want to put Lando or any of the Ninja Turtle stuff because I was like, this is girl power, it's DC, it's yes, let's do it. What do I have? I don't have any props. So I thought instead I'll just show off some of my comics. I have the first issue of the New 52 Harley Quinn run that kind of brought her back into prominence. Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Conner, and I have issues 2 and 3. So, those are the props for today. Some good Harley Quinn stuff. This is when she really took off, isn't it? Like, this is when she became that character that everyone knows and loves today. And it's a good run. It has its ups and downs. I never finished it, of course, but I like what's happening in the book, and I don't know, maybe this will be worth some more now because of the movie. $2.99 US for a book like this. That's cool. Really cool. So, that'll just be over here, sitting in a pile, vaguely off camera. Birds of Prey got a movie. And there was a lot of buzz going into this one that I don't know if a lot of people were excited for. Right off the bat, the trailers didn't impress me. The costumes and set photos we saw did not impress me. And the posters are hideous and I hate looking at them. I don't know what's going on, but they're just terrible and dumb, and everything wrong in Suicide Squad happened in those posters. So I saw the movie, my expectations were low, and when I went in and came out, I fell in love with this movie. I'll say it right off the bat, this is a great movie. I absolutely adored it and loved every second of it. I think it's one of my favorite DC movies, and I think it's one of my favorite superhero movies to ever be made. And I guess superhero is kind of stretching it. It's a comic book movie. I'll say that. It's one of my favorite comic book movies to be made. I am not a big fan of the Birds of Prey. I've never sought out any of the comics. I vaguely know them because I read Batgirl and they were referenced a lot there, but I just never connected with those characters on a way. I've connected to Black Canary because of other media, and I connected to Renee Montoya through other media, but I've never been a fan of these characters in a huge capacity. Same goes to Harley Quinn. I have those books. That's it. That's all I have of Harley Quinn pretty much. And I've never just like jumped on that character or loved her. So going into this movie, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. But everything I saw in here, I really liked for what was being set up. Now there are some reservations if you are a comic book purist and you want to see the pure version of your favorite characters on screen, because this movie does take some liberties with characters and just using them for namesake, but it worked for me because what we got as the final product was incredible and so fun to watch. I will say there are spoilers for this movie because it's one of those ones I want to talk about and spoil. So we'll start off the bat. This movie is more about Harley Quinn than it is about the Birds of Prey. That's pretty obvious from the marketing. It's pretty obvious going into this that you're going to get a lot of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in here because she's a producer. She actively sought out to get this film made, and you can tell she really did because there are so many great Harley Quinn moments in this movie, and you could tell she put her all into this performance because she loves this character and she wanted to make this movie. Just the subtle nods, not just to the camera, but to all the other characters, the way she moves her eyebrows, the way she like puts some thickness into the accent at certain points, just the way she falls in love with inanimate things and has a certain way about her performance. It's amazing. I really like too that she did some roller skating because she learned that skill for, you know, I, Tanya, let's put it in here too. And it works for a character like Harley Quinn to be on roller skates, so it's absolutely great and so fun. Margot Robbie knocked it out of the park in this movie, and she proved that you don't need Joker and Harley Quinn to be a couple in order to have Harley Quinn be big and successful. I'd say at this point you could do more good storytelling with Harley Quinn than you can with Joker in terms of a comic book movie. Because let's be real, Joker was not a comic book movie. Whatever anybody says, I hate that movie. The premise of this movie is we are seeing the aftermath of Joker and Harley's relationship. She's striking out onto her own and trying to come up in the world that's kind of against her. And we have one big MacGuffin in this movie that is this Bertinelli diamond, that is this sought after jewel that everybody's trying to get at. And who's at the center of trying to get that is the new crime boss of Gotham, Roman Sionis, played by Ewan McGregor, and we'll get to him later. We'll get to him later, but I just want to talk about this really quick. I really like the premise in movies when we have a bunch of people trying to get this one thing, and it's kind of all over the place, told from different perspectives. Like John Wick did that when everyone's trying to come at him in John Wick 3. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World did that kind of storytelling when everyone's trying to rush to get to this one place. It's taking this one idea and having everybody work around it to get to this one place. I think that's great. I love when stories do that, and it's really fun to see the way that comes into here and how all of our characters connect in this way that's going to come true later. Now, it does take a few liberties when it comes to the storytelling moments, and it's just like, okay, this was convenience, but it works for what this movie's trying to do and what it's trying to set up, so I was perfectly fine with it. I want to talk about the characters because, like I said earlier, it does take some liberties with some characters, but other ones are perfectly straight out of their counterparts. First off, Harley Quinn, I talked about her enough. I think she's really good in this, and I love Margot Robbie's performance. And then second off, Dana Lance, Black Canary. You could easily see this going a different way with the character as something that not a lot of people are gonna like. But I think it was incredible and such a great performance. Her name's Jorni Smollett something. She's great. I really liked the way she just captured every scene she was in. She just felt important and empowered and strong-armed, and just the way she was able to convey everything just by looking and being intense. It was beautifully done, and it felt like Dana Lance. Like, it really did. It felt like Dinah. Every time she just did something, I was like, okay, this is the punk rocker chick that I know and love. She's got a great singing voice. I'm glad we actually saw her as a singer. And I'm glad we got the reference to a mom of hers having powers. That was really cool. I was not expecting that angle to come in any way, but it did, and I was very thankful it did, because I was like, wow, that's a good little nod you're putting in here that not a lot of people are going to remember or know. So I was really happy to see that. I really liked it. Her character maybe doesn't look exactly like she does in every incarnation, you know, but just the way she captures every performance and everything she did, it was perfect. It was really fun, and I had a great time seeing her on screen. She was very captivating, and I want to see more from her. Cast Charlie Hunnam, make him Oliver Queen, throw this Dinah Lance in there, we're good. Like, that's your couple. They're perfect. It would just be so fun. Just put her in more stuff. I really hope she gets more Dinah Lance work as this. And I gotta say, Renee Montoya, another one I was kind of worried about, because I'm a Renee Montoya fan. I am wholeheartedly a fan of her character. I think she was great. The way she plays off Vic and some of the other incarnations of The Question, I really like. I was worried about the way she was going to be portrayed with this age range, and whether or not I was gonna like that. And it worked for what this movie was. Again, that's a liberty I didn't know I was gonna be okay with, but I think it worked, and she was exactly the character she needed to be. She acted like Renee Montoya perfectly, just all her mannerisms, the way she rebels against authority, the way she's snarky, her attitude, the way she fights, it felt like Renee, and I was really happy to see it. Rosie Perez, she did great. Very big fan of hers. And I'm okay seeing more of her. I mean, I would like to see a younger Renee become The Question, but I'm not going to hold out against it. It's fine. And for what this movie did, it worked for that character, so I liked it. And there's a couple that didn't really work for me, but it also didn't affect my experience watching the movie. Cassandra Cain, that's not Cassandra Cain. Like, it's just not. You're just using a name to make a different character. It's fine. It worked for what it was. She might be my least favorite part of the movie. I don't really care. But she did what she had to do. She was the young girl. She's just a pickpocket, so it worked, and I have no complaints against her. Not my interpretation of Cassandra Cain I'd want to see, but I'm not against it. She did what she had to do, and it worked. And Huntress. Here's the part that I didn't like, was Huntress. The way Mary Elizabeth Winstead played it, I know what she was going for. This socially inept, not great at communicating, doesn't understand social cues kind of character. It got annoying fast. The costume didn't look great. I didn't think she was that convincing in the role. Now, it didn't hinder my experience because everything else around her was just so good and amazing to see. But it was just there, and it might be the weakest point of the movie for me was her performance. If there's one character I don't really want to see again, and I'm hesitant to say see again because I would watch another thing with her, but I don't need more of her character. Maybe we can build her up and do something else, but as it stands, I'm like, you're good there. You don't need to do more. I'm fine with what I got. All right, let's talk about this. I'm amazed. I am freaking amazed at Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Who told him to do this? Like, every scene he's in, you could tell he's overacting and being so intense and insane, and he's chewing the scenery like a motherfucker. Everything he's doing is just so over the top. The director's like, okay, in this scene, you're talking about the artifacts in your house. Play it so weird, and you're just like, oh, you know, I just got this from this place. It's so fun. It's just so weird. Now it's in my apartment, in my living room. Look at it. It's so weird, isn't it? Creepy little thing. Or it's like, someone just betrayed you. Overact and start crying in such a manic and scary way. And it's like, oh, somebody's laughing, and you don't know if it's at you. Just freak out and try to attack them. It's just so good. And this character in this performance could easily be bad and so annoying and not work. But he captivates something really intense and amazing in this character, and I love to see it. Like, this is what I wanted from Black Mask. I'm not even upset he wasn't wearing the mask the whole time, because seeing Ewan McGregor just freak out and do something so crazy, it was just so fun and interesting. And his dynamic with Victor Zsasz was very compelling too. So that Zsasz is a very throw in the character, no one's gonna care unless you're a big comic fan. And he did fine. Like, I have no complaints against his performance. Again, he's not bald, which is, it's fine. But he was great. He's kind of like the henchman, proto, you know, pseudo lover for Roman, which is cool, and it worked, and they were both creepy and funny together, and every scene they had was great. I just loved seeing them. The casting in this was really good, minus, you know, a few things where the characters didn't reach the potential they should. Everyone looked like they were having fun and enjoying themselves, and you can see a lot of the scenes after you get to the intense action scenes where the cast is just smiling and laughing and they're having fun together, because it's that kind of movie. That's what you need from this. That's why I liked it so much. It's not like trying to tell me something or convey a dark, intense performance out of its actors. It's like what I liked about Shazam. It's, here's your characters, here's a fun story with them. We don't need to go over the top and have everybody have certain moments. We get that through the characters. We see Harley Quinn struggle, learning to be independent. She has a scene where she kind of goes mad talking to Roman, where she's kind of trying to slip back into that being needed, you know? And we see her grow up from that because she is empowered by the people around her and sees their strength in herself to overcome her challenges. I think it's beautiful, and it's really fun and just incredible. Again, Margot Robbie, just amazing. I'm so happy for her. She really wanted to do this movie, and I'm so happy she did, because it's so fun and just great. One of the elements of this I really like too, the action scenes. Like, action scenes, I think, are really hard to do well sometimes, because it's not only is it not convincing, but if you cut too much, you're gonna ruin it. Everything was in frame for the most part, and it really worked. This looked so good, and I know the guy that did John Wick did some of the stunt choreography for this movie, and it shows. The camera follows a lot of the stunt people doing their stunts. Beautiful. There's some great fights in here all over the board. Just the way Harley Quinn moved too, the way she bounced around was very believable and very comic accurate. I gotta say, just the way she moved with the hammer on the roller skates, everything was incredible. I loved it. It was so fun. I am so pumped for more of these characters because I need them. They're so fun. This movie was exactly what I needed for a palate cleanser from all the shitty movies I saw last year of superheroes, because Joker was bad, Endgame was bad, Far From Home was bad, everything was bad. This is getting me amped for more superhero stuff, guys. It was just so fun and interesting. And one of those things I really liked come towards the third act. Okay. The third act of this movie, I loved. This might be one of my favorite third acts for any superhero movie in a long time. First off, you're going to an abandoned amusement park, and it's Amusement Mile, or whatever they call it in Gotham. That's cool. Why it's still there and we haven't torn it down yet, I don't know. Let's just move past that. That's just, it doesn't matter. We're having so much fun action scenes in a fun house, and it's so cool to see. We're going down slides, we're jumping on trampolines, we're spinning on tops, on roller skates, and everyone just looks amazing when they're doing their stunts and they're doing the action scenes. It was just incredible to see the way the crossbow was used in the hand-to-hand combat stuff, the way the bat was used, the mallet was used, the way the brass knuckles were used with Renee. I loved it. All the scenes were incredible to see, and everything just worked for me in a beautiful way. And nothing felt out of place in this movie too. There's times when you're watching a movie like this, when certain scenes could be cut, it's like, oh, this could be 10 minutes shorter, or I wish there was a couple more minutes to explain certain things here. I didn't get that for this. We learn right away where all our characters are going to be and where they're going to be played at and how it's going to go done. Mainly because Harley Quinn's narrating, which it's a gimmick that you could love or you could hate. Worked in Deadpool, worked in I, Tonya. It works in here for the most part. What kind of bothered me though was sometimes she talked directly into the camera, which kind of threw it for a loop because then it kind of takes away from the experience. I get it though, she's the Deadpool of this universe, so I'm okay with that. And it just kind of threw me off because I'd rather just the narration. That I think works a little better. But it's fine. I'm not going to complain about it. It was only a couple times, like at the end of the movie and once in kind of the middle. It's fine. It worked. And just the way Harley narrates it, we're kind of jumping around in time. We're seeing things from a certain perspective. And it does the Suicide Squad thing where it puts the name of the person up on the screen and we get a little background to it. I like that trope. I think that's a very good comic book trope to throw in there. Especially if you have audience members who don't know who these people are. Because we don't really refer to Helena Bertolini as the Huntress for a long time. So if we say, oh, here's the Huntress, works for me. Works really well. Here's Black Canary. Here's why she's got her powers. Her mother used to be a Black Canary who fought with the police. It works. We understand what's going on with these characters. And another thing that I really liked, this movie was under 2 hours. It was like 1 hour and 50 minutes, I think. Thank you. Thank you. We need more of this. This is what we need more of in our superhero stuff. A quick story. Great characters, great plot, under 2 hours, because it can be done. Not everything needs to be the sweeping epic of 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes. Just tell a quick story and get out. Don't stay longer than you need to. I hate movies over 2 hours. It works sometimes, but sometimes you're like, the story doesn't need this much plot. Get in and get out, and it's fun. A quick trip to the theater, you're out of there. It's perfect. It's the perfect length. Did not need to be any longer. Did not need to be any shorter. I think this is one of the perfect movies when it comes to comic books. I really do. Because it feels exactly like a comic book plot and it's not over-exaggerated where the world is at stake. Here's a diamond that's worth millions. Our gangster is going to go try to get it. He wears a creepy mask to intimidate enemies in a city run by criminals. We have a hard-boiled detective who doesn't play well with others and the other cops kind of pick on her because of it. We got a girl whose family was murdered who's coming back for vengeance. We got a pickpocket who's just kind of trying to come in and get money to get off the streets, and she's connected because she steals the diamond from Zaz. And we got the singer who works at the club run by the gangster who wants to betray him because he's a bad man and she's not a bad woman. And then Harley Quinn just comes into this too because she broke up with the Joker, or Joker broke up with her. And now all our characters are after this one thing because they're all looking for one thing, emancipation. Which, hey, you put it in the title and you put it in the movie, so I'm good with it. Like, it worked. I loved everything about this. This felt like one of my favorite movies, and that's The Warriors. And if you guys haven't seen The Warriors, it's about the street gang in New York, The Warriors, and they're on a mission to go home because all the other gangs think they killed like a leader named Cyrus, so they're trying to rush to get back home before all these other rival gangs come to kill them. It had that feel to it. We have a small group of characters here. The whole world is after them pretty much in this one city, and they have to get out without dying. It's what this was, and it was perfect. If more superhero movies, if more movies even followed this format, we'd have a lot of great stuff, guys. Like, honestly, if it's just like, here's our characters, here's the problem, how do they get out of this problem in this small scale? Perfect. You got me. This is how you do a team movie. This is how you do the team movie and introduce our characters. And I love that Harley Quinn does not stay with them at the end. I was expecting her to stay with the team because at the end they're like, oh, let's get tacos and have some margaritas. But you know, Harley Quinn takes off with the diamond and leaves. Perfect. That's the character. You got it. Thank you, Margot Robbie. I love you. Thank you for just caring about this character enough to do something good. Now go do Gotham City Sirens. Get Poison Ivy, get Catwoman, get Zoe Kravitz. Go cast your Poison Ivy. Go do that. Send Black Canary over to a Green Arrow movie. Do that. Do a prequel with Vic Sage. and Renee Montoya, and then do something with the Huntress. I don't care. Maybe she'll go kiss Dick Grayson. I don't care. Put these characters in other stuff. They're worth it. They really are. I am kind of upset though that they killed Ewan McGregor's Black Mask. It was a great death and it worked for what the movie was, but I really liked him. I wanted more from him because he was just so interesting and compelling. I hope he comes back. I don't know how he could come back though, because he gets blown up from a grenade and you can see him splattered everywhere. But man, I really want him to come back and just kick ass in another movie like this, because he's just so good. He was so good. Every time he talked, it was so over the top and perfect. And he's calling people fucking morons. It was perfect with him. It was so fun. I really liked this movie. And it did good shit with its R rating. Like, it wasn't Deadpool levels of R, and it wasn't like Logan either. It's like, alright, we're gonna put some blood in this one scene. Perfect. We're gonna use a curse word here. Perfect. We're gonna put certain things here. It worked. It was great. The premise is very simple, but it also works really well. You know, we just see all of our main characters come together at the end through these different dynamics, and they just work together, and it's fun. It was really fun. I smiled a lot through this. I'm not a Harley Quinn guy, but just the way she acted and the things she did, it makes me like her a little more, just like the cartoon has been doing, which I'm definitely going to review when that wraps up this season. I'm liking this character more now, and I can thank the movie for that. They have one good joke with the cocaine in it too, which you saw in the trailer. It was fine, and it worked with that too. But then the way she used the bat after that, man, and it's bouncing off the floor, hitting the guy in the head and coming back to her, it's great. And I really like too, now I'm just ranting and talking about shit I liked. The henchmen were all different kinds of people. They looked different ways. They acted in different ways. They were different sizes and shapes. That was awesome to see. There's some really strong, muscular guys. There's some really skinny guys. Everyone's looking different and crazy, and it worked so good and so fun to see. We see Renee Montoya's ex-girlfriend. Holla, that was cool. Throw that in there. I had a good time seeing that. That was cool. And we even get a hyena. Yes, Bruce is the hyena's name in this. That's funny. It's Bruce Wayne, yada yada yada. I get it. That's funny. I liked seeing that hyena. That was really fun. It's a fun movie, and I want more stuff like this. This under 2 hour, just here's your story, here's the characters, here's the diamond everyone's after. Let's do a Warriors kind of thing. And that's what we did. Like, it was so good. And the costumes, okay. You can say what you will about the costumes, right? They're not comic accurate. They don't look that good. But I didn't hate it. You know, in action, they looked better when they're just standing there again. You know, could use the fishnets. It works, right? It's fun, it's cool. Fishnets are cool. Harley Quinn's outfit always confuses me because it's just like, what are you wearing? I liked the gold overalls with the pink top. That looked nice. I really liked that one. Huntress didn't look that good to me, but hey, she's not my favorite character. And it was fine. Like, I don't know. It was just, it was what it was. So you just gotta get over that. The costumes were made well though. Like, they didn't look cheap or bad. They just weren't that cool or fun or compelling as a costume itself, I guess. I don't know. I can get over it. Black Mask got some really cool suits, and the mask itself was really nice to see too. So that was fun. Not a lot of connections to other DC movies though. Didn't get anything with the Joker. Didn't see him at all, which I know we weren't going to get Jared Leto, but I understand maybe putting in like the back of his head and the green hair. We get like one kind of shot that was from Suicide Squad, and it was okay. No references to Suicide Squad that much either. There was like one or two, which cool. This makes me think we're gonna get some cool shit with Margot Robbie, because if this does well, she's not done with this character, guys. I know that for sure. Like, she better not be, because I'll be upset. What else was cool too, that not a lot of other movies have really done, is they gave us special thanks at the end credits to everybody who wrote these characters and wrote Birds of Prey. That made me really happy. I was so excited to see that, because that's what I want. What's cross-promotion, guys? Oh, you liked Birds of Prey? Why don't you read this run from Chuck Dixon and Gail Simone? Oh, you liked Harley Quinn? Why don't you pick up this Jimmy Palmiotti book? Do that. I know there was some theater chains that were showing you comics you could buy while you're gonna see Birds of Prey. Like, here's a Harley Quinn book, here's a Birds of Prey book. Do that. Why aren't more why isn't Marvel or DC doing this? It's so easy. It's just free advertisement for your books. So just put them there, and people are gonna be like, oh, that's fun. I liked seeing them on the screen. I'll go back and buy the first issue of that Harley Quinn book. Maybe I'll like that. It's so simple. Just do more of that. And I think this is going to start being a trend with DC, because they also gave the DC Universe app people, like, they could see early screenings of this movie. Thank you, DC. You know what you're doing right now, guys. I'm so on board with you. This movie got me hyped for more DC stuff than anything Marvel has announced, except for Moon Knight. Like, this was such a fun, well-executed movie. Everything worked for me. The camera angles, the cinematography, the lighting, the characters, the dialogue, which could easily be cheesy but wasn't. Everything about this movie worked and was fun, and I had a blast watching it, and I hope you guys do too. Don't go into this movie with a negative attitude because they're not sexy enough for you, or it's a female-led movie. This isn't Charlie's Angels, which is a movie I also liked, but I saw the flaws in it. This is fun. This is a quick story where we see a psychotic man after a diamond and going after some of the strongest women in Gotham City to get it. Go into this with a positive attitude, and I promise you'll have a good time watching it. You'll go out with a smile. You'll laugh at the moments that are funny. You'll cringe at the moments that are kind of cringy, but there's not a lot. So just have fun with it. Like, this is the one movie I hope everyone goes to see, because I want to see spin-offs of all these characters in different places, because they earned it. Thank you for watching my rant review on Birds of Prey. If you want to talk more about it, hit me up in the comments and I'll hit you back with what I think of certain parts or certain things. Thank you for watching. You can catch me on Patreon for more exclusive content, and this is where that will be first, for those of you wondering. And you can like the video and support the channel for more stuff coming all the time. Thank you so much. Harley Quinn, go buy it, guys. Cross promotion.